Ultimately, the thing that I'm getting at is this idea of ethics and boundaries in poetry, and specifically in storytelling. What stories are you telling? What versions of the speaker is your audience allowed to see? What lens do they get? What kind of faults is the speaker allowed to have versus other people? What kind of things are other people allowed to have? In what ways is the speaker allowed to be redeemed in contrast to other characters? Is the speaker given more grace than other characters are? Or not, that might not be the case. And I want to be clear that I'm not arguing that in order for you to be honest as a poet or honest as a writer, that means you have to confess your deepest, darkest secrets in your work. I think having boundaries is important. I think making decisions for yourself of like, this is not a story I'm going to share because the story is just for me, the story is just for my family. I think that's completely fine. I think it is important when you're looking at the stories that you are deciding to share that you ask yourself, why this story? Who does this story belong to? How does this story show me or the speaker versus other people in the space, and what ethics are guiding those decisions? And I think having those things definitively for yourself is really important. I came into writing when I was very young. I came into writing when I was, I guess I've technically been writing since like elementary school. I came into poetry and performance poetry in a more formal sense when I was 14. And the way I came into it, which in some ways is great because it gets young people excited and it gets young people interested in sharing, but it's harmful in other ways, is that you get told there's no censorship here. And I'm not for censorship, to be clear, but you get told there's no censorship here. You can do or say whatever you want to say, pretty much, and you get free. And that is it. And you get handed a microphone. And that happens in the context of slam, which, anybody here coming out of a slam background? A little bit. Slam, one of the issues with slam is that it takes the trauma of young people, especially youth slam, and you get kind of pimped out for scores. Mm-hmm. So like somebody's doing the cancer poem, like put the poem about your dad dying up. Yeah. Put this other thing up. So there's a lot of issues with ethics and morals and what stories we're telling and why we want those stories to go up and how we want them to manipulate an audience, especially in the current world of like social justice and politics. That happens a lot as well. And there wasn't a lot of conversations about ethics and about how we're telling these things.